2016 is easily one of the most impressive years in gaming. It refueled franchises, launched new IPs, brought games back from the dead, and defined expectation and hype. With so many exceptional titles coming out this year, you can imagine that it was no small task to boil the list down to just one game, but somehow each of the TZR editors has done it. Maybe it was for exceptional narrative or killer competitive multiplayer. Maybe it was for moments that blew us away or stories that truly affected us. Whatever it was, these are the games that stand above the rest as the best experiences of 2016 as chosen by your TZR editors. Let's get started.
Giant robots aside, which is normally worth the price of admission for me, the overall quality of Titanfall 2 has continued to shock me, like an ugly Christmas sweater coming out of the dryer, again and again. Free DLC and guaranteed continued support for the multiplayer community, no season pass required, an admittedly short but amazingly well put together campaign including one of the most clever uses of mechanisms in one particular mission that I've ever seen in an FPS, an unlocking system that continues to reward players with a drip feed of awesome equipables, but also gives you access to every piece of equipment from the get-go via in-game currency that is actually possible to obtain without using real money. All this plus some extremely tight shooting controls and a new rock-paper-scissors Titan system that makes strategic use of your resources nearly as important as twitch reflexes have made Titanfall 2 a game that I continue to play despite prestiging 1.5 times over daily.
After heavy consideration, I can confidently place Final Fantasy XV as my game of the year. While not a perfect game, Final Fantasy XV was incredibly successful at developing the Final Fantasy franchise in a direction that is well suited for fans and first-timers. Providing one of the more cohesive storylines in recent Final Fantasy, 15 introduces us to a brand new world and characters that have purpose and place. While greater forces move around the edges of the game's main world, the intimate peek that we get into the lives of the prince and his entourage is an experience I won't soon forget. Couple the successful storytelling with combat and a bevy of environments, enemies, and quests to engage with, and you get an incredible RPG that closed out an impressive year of games.
I think we can all agree that 2016 was an awful year by almost any classification. It made us want to go home, curl up with a game, and escape for a while. Fortunately for us, gaming was the lone exception to this disaster of a year, and we were treated to a ton of spectacular titles. And while it was difficult to choose my single champion, at the end of the day, it had to be Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 took the franchise to the next level and captivated me in a way that no other game this year could. It dropped me into a world of fantasy, brutality, beauty, and horror, and gave me two simple choices: learn and adapt, or die. Terribly. And while the latter happened more frequently than I care to admit, it was that struggle, that constant test of skill and patience against gorgeously horrific bosses and seemingly impossible odds that made Dark Souls 3 stand out above the rest. It's not a game for everyone though, and I reluctantly understand when someone sets it aside, but if you stay determined and see it through to the bitter end, you'll have experienced something truly special. Quote, "Rise if you would, for that is our curse." End quote.
If you told me back in January that my top game for the year would have been a first-person shooter, I would have laughed long and hard. Over the years, I have dabbled in the genre, but never found anything that I wanted to spend any extended period of time with. I just didn't think there was a first-person shooter that I would enjoy. A few hundred hours into Overwatch, and I'm thrilled to have been proven wrong. Between the character design, gameplay graphics, variety of characters, and constant constructive updates, I don't know what's not to love about Overwatch. Not only is Overwatch an amazing game, but Blizzard has done a marvelous job doing right by its fans. Releasing the entire game for free for a limited time was brilliant. After playing for a few hours, I was blown away at how much fun I was having. Months later, I still can't put it down, which I can't say about many games. I trust that Blizzard will keep my interest in Overwatch for some time. What really makes the game special is not only was it able to convince someone like me to play a first-person shooter, but the game is also beloved by die-hard fans of the genre. Overwatch's release had a huge impact on the gaming community and on me personally. Everyone was talking about this amazing new game you had to try. You couldn't ignore it if you tried. Overwatch is the game of the year.
First off, let me open by saying that 2016 was an unfair year to release so many good titles that I couldn't even hope to play them all. But what few I have were exceptional. In what was a horrendously close toss-up with Uncharted 4, my game of the year ultimately had to go with the game I wasn't expecting to blow me away. After 7 long years of development, The Witness delivered on being a beautiful brain bender that truly invoked a sensation of gratification in completing its challenges. I felt like I was learning another language, useful tools I was proud to understand and apply them efficiently, even though in reality I'm drawing arbitrary lines in a video game. The colorful and serene world of The Witness is engraved in my mind, and I plan to return to the island again many times in my future.
Titanfall 2 is the best FPS game to come out this year. It has a fantastic campaign mode full of interesting level design and a great story as well. I play the multiplayer almost every day, minus the week I played Final Fantasy 15, and I'm definitely addicted to it. While Overwatch definitely slides in at a photo finishing second, I give my game of the year to Titanfall 2, both because it's one of the best games that I played this year, and because I feel this game was robbed of its success by Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Consider this to be my statement to EA that Titanfall 3 needs to happen.
No other games really stuck with me throughout 2016 the way Stardew Valley did. This simple farming simulator, lovingly crafted and filled to the brim with a compelling cycle of gameplay that should be familiar to anybody who knows the root of its inspiration, Harvest Moon, captured the hearts of many when it first exploded onto the scene back in February. And for good reason too. It single-handedly proved to me, on a personal level at least, that it wasn't the farming simulator genre that I grew tired of over the years as I had initially thought. When Stardew Valley came out, I found a game that offered an experience that was bigger and better than I had anticipated, improving on every aspect of the source material as possible. It tied gameplay, setting, plot, mechanics, and aesthetic together into a package that brought the wonderful world of Pelican Town to life in a perfect way, creating a world that is as relaxing as it is engaging. Its beauty lies in its repetitive simplicity, wherein the focus of the game is a method of losing yourself to the routine of escape. The activities are varied enough to maintain interest, while simple enough to never feel overwhelmed. It is exactly what anybody wishing for a Harvest Moon game on PC would want, and it delivered in spades. I may have put as many hours into Overwatch as I did Stardew Valley, but it had nowhere near the lasting impact that this game did. To me, this represents a personal revival, a nostalgic time sink that reminds me why I spent so much time tending virtual crops as a child all over again. Except that this time I don't get yelled at for not realizing it's already 2 AM and I'm still playing.
Hey, thanks so much for checking out our Game of the Year video. If you liked it, or if any of these games are your pick for the year, give us a thumbs up. And we've got plenty of awesome new content coming up next year, so to stay up to date, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our new videos. Check out TheZeroReview.com for all of our news and reviews, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks.